Hey media heads, a little out of breath here. We've been walking through this house up and down stairs, trucking around, so check out the rack here. You may have seen some photos or a video about the pre-build that we did in our shop. So we try to get 85-90% of the way done, get all the hardware in, get things updated and tested so that when we deliver the rack, we're basically connecting to the trunk back here. This big old pipe of wires coming out of the wall. This guy here is our Eero gateway router. This is a PoE gateway, so it's powering our wireless access points in the house. It's tied into some cameras. There's a couple other things that are plugged in, and then we have that go into our main network switch here that's giving us a hardwired connection for all the TVs, all the Rokus, the Sonos gear, basically anything that's tied into the internet. We have our Josh AI core there, our Control 4 home automation controller, basically just the kind of the brains of the house. Pulls all the equipment out of the spaces, out of the rooms, puts it in one centralized place. And generally when we're building these racks, we want to keep in mind weight distribution, things like that. So if we look here down at the very bottom, we have a backup battery. This backup battery is basically in place so that if there's brownouts or if they lose power, this may hold only, surprisingly enough, about 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes worth of backup power, but it's enough time so that if there's a quick outage and then power comes back on, all of our devices in the rack aren't trying to power on at the same time, and they're not trying to pull an internet connection and things. So it really it helps balance the load for the system that's kind of going back into the power for the house, so there's not these big surges, and ultimately it does help protect the gear as well. We have Sonos amps, which are relatively lightweight, but when you have 8 of them, there's a little bit more weight there. So just kidding, we have 10 amps. And those are all plugged into our AudioQuest surge protector. That's gonna help clean power to those Sonos amps, so that's gonna help with fidelity. It's gonna reduce noise that's going through the system, some feedback that sometimes you may or may not know is coming over your speakers, but when you plug it into a nice clean surge protector, it really helps kind of clean it and give you about as good a sound as you can. It looks like we have our speaker wires that are about to be terminated and plugged into the system here. We have our controllable surge protector. So this controllable IP watt box surge protector is gonna give us the ability to remotely manage this system very easily. So if we get a call from the customer and something doesn't work right, we can log into their system, we can remotely reboot. It helps with service, it helps with troubleshooting, and like say if they have a power outage and everything does go down, if that backup battery's been without power for a few hours, let's say for example, and everything is completely depleted of power, when the system turns back on, one of the cool things that this surge protector does is we time each outlet so that certain devices turn on at a specific time. That would be kind of like us coming in and just plugging things in. You wait 30 seconds, you plug the other one in, you wait a minute, so on and so forth. We just program that all into the surge protector, so it, in the event that there's a big issue at the house or something like that, we can do all that remotely and run through that power sequence. And what it does first is kind of gets the network back online before it gets everything else back up, so that it's all talking and everything's happy at that point. So one of our biggest service calls that we see as a company is after a power outage, nothing works. And that's because the network powers on at the same time as all the devices in the rack or the system, and they can't find an IP address because the modem, like from AT&T or from Spectrum, it takes probably 3 to 5 minutes just to power all the way up. So you have these devices that have been powered on, looking for a connection, and they can't find it. So they just get caught in this network loop. And the only way really around that is to reboot them again. And so a lot of what we do is kind of walk our clients through how to time that out over the phone. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience, and you can imagine most of our clients don't want to go digging around back here too. So one of the things that something like this, not to kind of overly get into it, but it helps us on the, helps us in a lot of ways, but mostly on the service side. We want our customers' experience always to be the best it can be, and for their system to work when they want to go use it. This will all, clean up, I think, pretty quickly here over the next probably, 8 hours or so. So hopefully by tomorrow we'll be up and running. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to talking to you soon and showing you all the updates that are coming in a future video once we're all set.
Don't waste your time.